Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We're back in the advanced Mazda MX-5, this time at Adelaide Street Circuit for yet another track guide. Now, if you're new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap, then a breakdown lap, then we are back in the cockpit one final time in the driving line on, as this is an open setup series. If you want to race the exact setup that I'm driving in this track guide, you can go to our website, sambosetups.com, or our Patreon page. There are links to both in the description. Any questions, do let me know in the comments, but you can see the fuel level and the track temps and track state already on the overlays. Enjoy. Down the start finish straight, we're looking to get on the brakes slightly just before the 50, only on to about 12%. Make sure that we're really tight on the tyre wall on the left hand side so we can make it through there without the obvious off track. Now midway between the 100 and the 50, we're getting on the brakes initially to about 70%. A little bit higher, down to second gear, over to the right hand side, just past the 50, on the brakes to about 35%, getting back on the gas. And then over to the left-hand side, and roughly where the 50 would be, again, we're doing the same, but in reverse. Final time in this section at the 50, again, on the brakes to about 65%, back on the gas as soon as possible, because you're going to carry that speed all the way down this huge straight as we go from turn 7 to turn 9. Turn 8, obviously flat out. Track map's not helping there, though. We want to get nice and tight to that. Now, this next one, a lot harder corner. Got to wipe all that speed off. Start just before the 100. We go all the way down to first. Now, we're going to be careful getting back on the gas. If we just pump it down, you're going to lose the rear. Now, we're looking to go just past the 50. We get on the brakes briefly to about 75%. I drop it down to first, but I have seen people doing it successfully in second there. And now we've just got one final corner to go. And once we get alongside the start of that pit opening, we get on the brakes, down to first, back on the gas. And we just pin our rears back for the line. And over and across we go in a 1:32.8. Breakdown lap coming up next. On the breakdown lap, so first braking marker, just before the 50, we've got this little opening in the barrier on the right-hand side. That is when I'm going to get on the brakes, only to about 10-15%, something like that. We're then going to hold that and trail it off, get nice and tight. If you can see with my steering wheel here, I've got 45 degrees left hand down. I'm understeering out past this tyre wall, but I'm aiming to sort of drive into it. But if you get it right, you're going to understeer out and you're going to be able to correct and stay just within the track limits. Now, would I do that or would I brake harder in a race? I would probably brake slightly harder, but obviously I wanted to put the fastest possible time that I could do. So this is as close as you can cut it without hitting that off track. And if you do hit the off track, I think it's 1.4, 1.5 seconds slowdown. It's pain. Next braking marker, it's midway between the 100 and the 50, but the best thing to look at, if you look at the yellow line, the straight yellow line dead ahead of me, just to the right of it, we've got some cross-hatched white lines. It's the end of those white lines that I'm looking for to get on the brakes. So as you can see, that last white line is now disappeared under me. I'm on the brakes, so I initially roll on to sort of 70%. I then increase that slightly. I drop it off down to second gear, and I start getting back on the gas here at the apex. Get straight up to 100%, a little bit wonky on exit. Now we're looking for this 50. We're going to go past it, and it's midway basically between the 50 and the tree up ahead on the right hand side. We're getting on the brakes to about 35%, and again trail it off. I'm just giving that curb the merest of kisses. I'm not actually running up and over it. I'm just giving it a kiss as I go past, and then I start getting back on the gas here at the apex. And again, you're controlling that rear with the throttle. Now we would be braking at the 50 if there was a 50 here, but what you can see on the left hand side on the track is these are obviously car parking spaces, probably for these offices or houses on the left hand side, and we are going to get on the brakes at the end of the car parking spaces on the left hand side. We get on the brakes this time to about 60%, and we're going to trail it off, giving this curb a kiss on the way through. We're back nearly up to 100% before we get to the apex, but we don't get through to 100% until I know I'm safe of that curb. And then for this final bit, we're getting on the brakes just before the 50 board on the left hand side, on the brakes to about 65-70%, trail it off. And this one I'm really taking quite a bit of curb because I want to get on the gas as soon as possible to make use of this long straight coming up next. So we take this absolutely flat out. And then for turn 9, what we're looking for is we've got this 100 on the left-hand side, and we're wanting to get on the brakes just at this orange board on the left-hand side just before the 100. You can see it there. I get on the brakes straight up to sort of 75%, hold it, wipe all that speed off, and then we're going to be quite careful getting back on the gas here in first gear. We can't just go straight up to 100% until the rear has settled. It's very easy to lose it through there. Got 2 more braking zones to go. So the first one, we're going to go past the 50, and it's about 4 or 5 car lengths after that I'm going to get on the brakes. So just here, get on the brakes to about 75%. I trail it off, and as I say, I drop it down to first, but I have seen people doing second quite nicely. So try it in both, see what works for you. I may have overslowed slightly for this corner. This bit is all now flat out. And then the final braking marker, we're looking on the right-hand side of the track. So we're alongside the pit entrance here. But if you can see at the end of the pit entrance, you've got this little yellow triangle, and then you have the extra curbing being built. That's what I've been looking for. As soon as I can see that just up ahead of me, I get on the brakes exactly where I am now. So we get on the brakes briefly up to about 80%, wipe that speed off, trail it off, and then we get back on the gas just at the apex and first. Should exit nice and wide, and that is the breakdown lap of the Mazda for the Advanced Mazda Series at Adelaide. We've got one final version coming up next with the driving line on and without me talking. Enjoy.